Okay, so this tutorial is going to cover our digital mask project. We have already started in class to create our white background with our mask that has been enlarged, and then we brought down the opacity for the mask that we found online. In addition to this, in order to get started, in your folder, you need to turn around images of your sneaker. You need the side, the back, the front, a couple of zoomed in pieces of it, and the top of your sneakers as well. So all the entire turnarounds, kind of like this as well, right? This is what we talked about. You can take them yourself or you can find them online for this project. Okay, so the next step that you're going to do is you are going to go in and take your images that you have. So here's some images. Pretend this is in your folder. And you're going to drag and drop these onto your picture of your mask that you have. So for example, here you can see, and I'm going to zoom in on it. Nope, sorry. Let me just get out of this for a moment, so you're not confused too much. Okay, so what happens is you drag in the image, and then after you drag in the image, you will see that it has been added to a layer on top. You don't have to worry that the smart object icon is there. That makes no difference. What you're going to do now is you're going to try and cut out parts of the sneaker one at a time. So in order to do that, you have a number of different tools you can use. I'm going to go over to the selection tools here on the side. You can use your lasso tool, your polygonal lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. You can even jump down to the one below it, and you can do your quick selection or even your magic wand if your sneaker will allow you to use it. So from there, you're going to go to any one. So let's just say lasso, for example. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to your shoe, find the part of your shoe that you want to cut out. So as an example, let's say I'm going to zoom into here. Remember, Command plus to zoom in. If I want to get this entire area here, this kind of triangular area, I can select it like this, right? Select the area, hit the add button on the top, continue to add, continue to add. I could also switch and use the polygonal lasso tool and create the exact same thing. Remember, hit the add button and continue to select. So that's the lasso and the polygonal lasso tool. The last one is the magnetic lasso. That's this one here, right? Magnetic lasso tool. The magnetic lasso tool, all you have to do, I'll just show you from the beginning, you just click on the edge and then you follow the edge with your mouse. The computer is going to make those clicks for you. Those little dots that you see there are clicks that the computer is making and not me. You can help it out by giving it a click every so often, and you continue your way around. What's nice about this tool also is that if you mess up, like over here, let's say I mess up by accident, you can hit delete or backspace on your keyboard and you can go back multiple dots and then just kind of start over a little bit so you don't mess up. So it's really tough to mess up with this particular one. You go all the way around until you get back to where you started and you close it off, and you can see the selection has been made. If there's any mistakes on it, you just switch back to your lasso tool, one of your regular lasso or polygonal lasso tools. You can hit the add button and you can add any parts that you want to this, okay? So you select the whole thing. I got that whole chunk. It looks good. And now I'm ready to put it and copy it and use it on the mask. So all I have to do is right click inside of the selection and select layer via copy. And once I do that, what's happened over here on my layers panel is that that piece has been put on its own layer. So if I hide this original sneaker just by closing the little eyeball, you can see the piece of the sneaker. If you look out like this, there's that piece of the sneaker. So if I zoom out, you can see there's that piece. I'm going to switch over to my move tool. It's the top of my toolbar up here. Grab my move tool. And now I can move that piece around wherever I would like. We are only doing half the face. So we are going to do something called rulers, which is view and rulers. I'm going to turn them off so they disappear. I'm going to put them back on so you can see. If I go to view and rulers, you'll see a ruler at the top of your screen and on the left hand side of your screen over here. What I did is I clicked and I dragged from the ruler out to create this guideline, and I put it in the middle of the face. When I put it in the middle of the face, you see that it's kind of this like light blue that goes straight through the center of the face. So what that's going to be is just a guide for you. You only have to do half the face, and then we're going to copy and flip it to the other side. So I have this piece now, it's on layer 2, I have my move tool selected, and now I start to move this around and decide where I want to put this. The only things that you're allowed to do to the piece besides moving it around are you can do Command T or Windows key and T on your keyboard, which is the same as going to Edit and Free Transform. You'll see the box gets put around it. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see better. And now from here, I do not want you in this project to make it bigger. Instead, the only things you can do are you can go off past the corner and you can rotate it in any direction that you'd like. You can also right click inside of it and select any of the rotations here at the bottom, including the flipping. You can do it horizontally or vertically, so you can flip it. So I want you to just kind of move it around, put wherever you like. Remember, the background of the mask that you see here is just a blueprint. You don't have to follow it exactly. You can go off of it a little bit. And the other thing that you're allowed to do with these pieces is you can copy them up to 4 times. So to copy a layer, all you have to do, there's like 3 ways to do it. You can right click on the layer and say duplicate, or you can drag the layer down to the new layer button like this, drag and drop to the new layer button, and then you see a copy of it come up. It still looks like there's one, but if you take the move tool, you'll see that there is a second one has been made. And then you can move that one wherever you'd like. Remember, only half the face right now. Command T, rotate it a little bit, decide where it goes. They can overlap, that's totally fine. Hit OK. And then you're going to go on to the next part of the sneaker. So you have to turn these off for a moment, turn back on your sneaker layer, hit the eyeball so you can see it, and now decide what the next part of your shoe is that you want to cut out. So go back to those same tools, and you can use any of those tools that we talked about. The one additional tool that you might not know is the quick selection tool. So that's this one here. This is the second one we're using in this project. Quick selection. It's kind of like a paintbrush and a magic wand built into one. So all you have to do, it has a size brush at the top. Usually I put it at about between a 5 and 10 size brush on it. And what you do is you go over to the part of the sneaker that you'd like. For example, here's this back little light blue, teal blue part of the sneaker. All I have to do is click and drag across it. And really quickly, and I could do a little bit more over here, it did a nice job. Now in this case, it went a little bit more than I wanted. At first it went like this, which was kind of perfect, except it messed up a little bit over here. So you can always switch to a different tool, like the lasso tool up top here, one of these more specific tools like the lasso or the polygonal. And you can see down here at the bottom, it added too much, so I want to subtract. So I go up to the top, I choose subtract right from here, and then go back down and get rid of that chunk. Okay, so you can add or subtract. To add, you can hold shift on your keyboard. To subtract, you can hold option on your keyboard. So you select exactly the part that you want, make sure it looks nice and clean, and then once that's done, you right click, layer via copy, just like we did before, and that will place just that piece on its own layer. So if I hide the original sneaker, you can see there's that piece on layer 3 right now. If it doesn't look clean enough to you, you can always go back in, obviously like this, and you can get nice and tight to the actual piece of the sneaker, so there's no fuzz or extra showing around the edge of the sneaker, kind of like this. Like if I want to get rid of this little piece, get rid of it, nice and clean. And so you cut out the sneaker, and then again, you're going to use this piece. You can turn the other 2 back on that we already made, but then I'm going to stay on layer 3, take the move tool, and decide where this goes. Remember, Command T, you can rotate it, decide where you'd like to put it. You can put it behind or in front. So right now this piece is behind, but maybe I put it like here. Don't worry if it goes outside of the edge of your template, like right here, here's the edge of my template, but the piece of the sneaker went past that, that's okay. And you can copy it if need be. I'm just going to use it once there, kind of at the top. If you do want to cut off anything, like this little tip here is popping out, you could always take one of your selection tools, make a selection of that area, and just hit delete and get rid of that little piece. So you're going to continue to do that until you have completed one full side of the face. Once you have completed one full side of the face, just I'm going to show you here, make sure that you save. I was not saving on purpose. So this is a picture of what it looks like at the very end, but as you're working, you're going to get to a point. Hold on one moment. I just want you to see what this is going to look like when you are done with your one side of the face. Okay. So when you are fully complete with one full side of the face, it may look something like this, right? And you can see I have all these different layers that I was able to use. And so, to finish it off, what you're going to do is you're going to click the top layer, scroll down, hold shift. So they're all selected. So you click the top one, you scroll down, you hold shift, you click, so they all get selected. At that point, you're going to take them, drag them, drop them into the little folder. They go into a folder. That folder now, all you have to do is copy the whole folder. And now you have a whole nother set. If I take the move tool, top of my toolbar, and I click and I drag, I have this whole other set. And all I have to do now is flip this whole set. So I go to edit, free transform, right click, and flip horizontal. And then I just move it until it kind of lines up. If you want to leave a little space in between, you can put something else in the middle, or you can make them kind of touch each other, you know. Kind of like that, where they overlap just slightly, or they get really, really close. It's really up to you. If you want to leave a little space, this one might look cool with a little space in between. Hit the checkbox to OK it up top, or hit enter on your keyboard. And so now we have those two pieces. Then you're going to go online as a final step and bring in a background image like I did here on layer 12. And then the actual image of the mask, this faded one, you can just hide that. You don't need that anymore. You put your background on, you put your two groups on, and now you have basically your mask. In this one, I do have that gap kind of thing that's happening here in the middle. So I could fill that with another part of the sneaker. I could just open up the sneaker one last time, you know, take a part of it and fill that one part of the mask, just to completely fill it in. Okay, that's the project. Any questions on it, please let me know.